last time I stepped into this campus was a very dark period for me. I had just encountered a failure in life for which I had worked on for a long period of time. I had invested mentally, emotionally, physically into this particular dream of myself, aiming to get into one of the prestigious institutions of this country. But all these dreams, all these efforts, all these sleepless nights which I worked on crumbled into dust. At the end, I was left with nothing but a harsh taste of defeat. The following days were very dark. What I was feeling cannot be put into words right now, but the initial feelings of disappointment, embarrassment, frustration were there. Apart from this, I was also feeling shame of letting people down who trusted me for this period of time, who believed in me, and I could not achieve that particular goal which I had fixated my mind on. But as time went on and the initial shock waned away, I came to realize that this particular event in my life will decide how I approach things in the near future. I learned a lesson which basically enabled me to develop a mentality to tackle challenges in the near future. In the environment which we grow up, in the environment which you are right now, in the school, you are protected. You do not face failures as much. But when you move out of school, you will face challenges which will throw you down on the floor, make you bite dust. And how you get up from that is very important. And for that, I think the first thing which is very important is how we embrace failures. The society these days has basically established a stigma with failure. Failure, according to the society, is weakness, is a lack of capability, is something which degrades a person's personality, it degrades a person's value. They see someone who has failed as someone who cannot do anything in life, who cannot move forward. But there is one important point which I want to share over here. How society judges you is based on a ruler which they have developed for themselves. Each person in the society has a different ruler to measure failure and success. But your life is something which should be measured according to the ruler which you have established for yourself. What goals on achieving them will mark you as a successful person, what goals on not achieving will mark you as a failure should be defined by yourself only. When we let someone else's ruler to judge ourselves, then we will identify ourselves as a failure, because some targets will not be sufficient for others. They will always expect more from you. They will always find out some imperfections in your plan, in your life, and they will mark you as a failure. And this particular stigma is instilled in us from the very early age. They tell us, no, you should not do this, you should not do this, you will fail, you should do this, you should apply this particular method. But this leads to students not applying things, not being creative, not being innovative, not applying their ideas in real life situation just because of fear of failure, to avoid failure. But when you avoid failure, you miss out on a very important neuromechanism which is instilled inside our brain. Let's analyze one. I am a footballer. I play for my school football team. I am a centre forward. We have a very important match against DPS Rohini. I am pretty confident that I will score goals. I will lead my team to victory. But the defenders mark me very well. I am not able to score goals. We had a disappointing performance and we were knocked out of the tournament. I come back home. I process my thoughts. That harsh taste of defeat is still inside my head. I'm thinking what I did wrong. I should have made this particular movement. I should have made this run. I should have passed the ball to my teammate at this point of time instead of going for the shot. So this neuromechanism is instilled in our brain. Whenever we make a mistake, we move towards different solutions. We identify different pathways. We develop our understanding of that particular situation. We think about it. We understand what went wrong, what we could have done. And when we are in that particular situation again, next time in the near future, we can apply a different path to see whether it can lead us to success or not. Now, making failures is not something which should be connected to, getting to the right solution, getting to the right path to achieve success. But it's more about exploring different pathways and developing your understanding. When you fail, you question yourself, you question your understandings, you question your beliefs, you question the situation, you question what you did. And when you question, you find solutions to that particular questions. You find answers, you develop different pathways, you move on that particular pathway, you again find failure, you develop 4 more pathways, you move, and at the end you will definitely achieve success. But this is very easy to say. Let's fail continuously, we will find a solution, we will find a solution, we will analyze. But there is a certain limit to every fail. There are various emotions which are attached to a certain failure. The emotions of disappointment, the emotions of embarrassment, the emotion of shame, the emotion of letting people down, the emotion of letting your team down, the emotions of whatever you believed in. You believed in yourself, you believed in a certain ideology, and when you followed that particular ideology, you failed. You based the past years of your life based on your understanding on your failures, and that failed. How will you deal with that particular emotion? One thing which I tell students, which I tell everyone who I talk with is, there is one thing called as IQ, intelligent question, and there is one thing called as emotional question. What I think enables a person to be more successful in their life is the emotional question. You can be intelligent, you may have a brilliant IQ, but if you are not able to handle your emotions well, you're not able to tackle challenges, you're not able to tackle the side effects of failures, you cannot move forward. The IQ cannot be put to use in a situation if you cannot handle the emotions in that situation well. So managing emotions around a failure is very important to embrace failures. If you are calm with yourself, if you believe in yourself, if you think what you are doing will eventually lead to the goals which you are aiming for, then you need to shut down the negativity which is coming from outside. Shut down advices from people which prompt you to just move on with something else, give up your goals, try a different path which pushes you into your comfort zone. So developing your emotional question, emotional intelligence will help you manage emotions around failures and will ease the process to embrace failures. Nowadays, there are a lot of talks about, being in our own skin, accepting our, making terms with life, accepting what is going on in life, not taking things seriously. I agree with most of those things, and I agree that we should embrace failures. We should not take failures that seriously. We should not take failures as imperfections in a person. But how are you planning to move on from that particular point? How are you learning from your mistakes? The art of imperfection is something which is not talked about. Everyone talks about perfection. He scores full marks, he attends events, he gives speeches, he participates in competitions, secures prizes. He is a perfect person. One day, you find one thing which he cannot do perfectly, and that one flaw stays in your mind for the entire life. Even if you do 99 good things, one wrong thing will ingrain that particular flaw in people's mind. Because this is how our society is built. But we must understand, as a Greek philosopher Cornelius mentioned, perfection kills creativity. Perfection kills growth. The art of imperfection is something which we should ingrain in each student's mind, in each person's mind. Because the first attempt will never be perfect. As you can see over here, the first attempt is never perfect. Gradually, when you try, practice more, put in more efforts, you try to analyze what went wrong, how we can improve certain things, that makes you a successful person. That makes you grow as a person. That does not make you stagnate. People will move on in their life and they will stop at a certain point because they think that they have achieved. They are in a perfect state. But there is no perfect state. Every person has a potential to improve. Every person has to fail every day to analyze what is missing, which we can work on. So the art of imperfection is something which must be ingrained. I want to learn a technology. People are asking for roadmaps. People are asking for resources these days. They are looking for the perfect solution to learn a particular technology. But what will happen? This will delay their progress. Will not make them start learning a new technology. Now, what if that particular person just logs into YouTube, writes JavaScript tutorial and just clicks on the first video which is appearing, learns from it. If that video is not good, we will move on to the next video. In the next 1 hour or 2 hours, he will have more understanding about JavaScript than the next person who is looking for a roadmap or who is looking for the best resources to start learning JavaScript. I have worked in the technical industry for quite a bit of time. I have launched products. So one experience which I would like to share, we were working on a product called FactGPT for our product launch shot, and we were about to launch it in the month of November and December. FactGPT was a product which was able to answer all your queries, which used Google's latest data to analyze your query and provide you with the best solution. Does anyone remember what happened in the month of November and December? Just as we launched our product, within few days, ChatGPT launched their product and it completely crashed out. We did not get any reach, we did not get any sign-ups. That was a complete failure because ChatGPT could do what we could do in a much better way, on a much better scale, on a much better publicity. So what did we do? Did we, sit back, consider this as a failure and just, move on? No, we did not. In technical industry, there is a term called as iterative design. When you design something, put it to test, put it to implementation, you identify the issues which are there with the product, and you work on those issues. You iteratively work on that particular product and try to keep improving it irrespective of the failures. As mentioned in the graphic behind me, even if you try multiple times, you will fail. Your product will not work, there will be some bugs, there will be issues, the customer will not like the product. But at the end, when you work on iterative design, when you continuously work on your failures, you try to improve your imperfections, you will finally get a product which can be a game changer for the market. And we worked on FactGPT. We identified ChatGPT's model, we identified ChatGPT's business model, we identified gaps which ChatGPT was not working on. And we worked on those technology and we added those things into our product. And our product was a success on Product Hunt. We launched it in the month of January, 2nd to 3rd January, and it ranked 3rd on Product Hunt for the launches of that month. So this explains that despite our product being a complete failure in the initial launch, it can still reach a much higher potential if we work on it continuously. What the society forces us to do with respect to failures is that whenever you fail, you say, this is not for you, you cannot do this. This is not meant for you, you should try this, it will be more comfortable for you. It will be more suitable for you, for your personality, for your nature, for your skills. And failures push us into our comfort zone. And as Cornelius mentioned, comfort and growth cannot coexist. They can never coexist. Comfort zone is something which will lead you to your downfall. You stay in your comfort zone, you will identify more things which are putting you in uncomfortable position. Your comfort zone will get smaller and smaller, and at the end you will be restricted to 2 or 3 things which can provide you happiness or comfort in life. And then your life becomes a morbid stage where people say that he actually died at 90, but his life was ended. His life ended at 22. So you need to move out of your comfort zone. You face failures. You do not need to get disappointed. You do not need to get frustrated. Instead, you need to work on yourself. You need to identify opportunities, how I can improve myself, how I can push myself out of the comfort zone, and how I can get into the growth area. And when you move into the growth stage, then you will identify that the comfort zone was holding you back. There is one interesting quote which was said that we do not know what chains are holding us until we move around. If you stand at one place, you will not know that your leg has been binded with metal chains. When you move around, you will see that you have been chained to a single position, you have been chained to your comfort zone. And when you move around, you will try to break that particular chain so that you can move out into the world, you can explore new heights, you can explore your true potential. Now we have basically learned to embrace our failures. We have learned that yes, we need to move on and we need to act upon these failures and try to improve ourselves. But how do we do it? How do we analyze our failures? How do we know what went wrong? So I came across this post on social media way back, and interestingly I'm providing a speech over here on the same project. There are basically 3 stages of failures. The most important being the failure of vision. You do not have the vision to move on with your task. You do not have the vision to succeed in your goal. If you do not have the vision, you will never be able to move out of your comfort zone. You do not have that why to work on that particular thing. If you fail at this stage, you will not be able to build the pyramid of success which you are aiming for. The failure of vision is related to the failure of why. You are not able to identify why you are doing a particular thing. Why do you want to achieve something? The second stage is the failure of strategy. You have a vision, you have to achieve something. What are you going to do to achieve that particular thing? What is your strategy? And when you devise a plan to achieve a certain goal, this is the stage where you fail, when your strategy is not correct, when your strategy has flaws, when your strategy makes you go around in circles instead of directing towards your goal. This is where you need to ask yourself, what did I do wrong? What can I improve on? The third stage of failure, which is a very minor stage, which can be changed, which is very dynamic, which is very flexible, is the failure of tactics. You have devised a strategy. What tactics are you going to use to implement that particular strategy? How are you going to take the actions which you have decided you are going to take? I have made a plan that I will study for 12 hours a day to achieve this particular goal, to crack this particular exam. But what are your tactics? How are you handling the subjects? How are you managing the 12-hour time period which you have defined for yourself? If you are not able to manage your time period, if you are not able to manage how you are implementing that particular strategy, the first part of the pyramid can never be established. How to deal with this particular failures, how to resolve these failures. What I think is, initially when you start toward a goal, you can never have the vision which you have. With time, when you work on it, with time when you develop interest towards it, the vision will get clear on the way. The first thing which we need to work on is the tactics we are. How are we going to make sure that we are not going to follow some tactics that which is not going to suit our strategy which we have devised? So I have had 3 points: record, measure, review, and adjust. I started studying at 9. I went to bed at 12 in the night. I woke up next morning. I'm following the same procedure. At the end of 1 month, I understand that I have not learned anything. I'm still failing. What went wrong? Did I record my progress? I studied for 3 hours. I studied mathematics. I studied this particular topic. I solved this much amount of questions. In this much time frame, I was able to do 25 questions. The next day, in this particular time frame, I was able to do 10 questions. Why? Did we analyze this particular thing? So we need to measure our progress. We need to record our daily progress, and we need to review, analyze, and adjust our tactics accordingly. The failure of strategy can be resolved by 3 things. Working in the startup industry, I have learned these 3 things are very crucial for any strategy which I will implement. Whether you are organizing an event, whether you are working on a product, whether you are studying for an exam, whether you are preparing for a competition. Speed, efforts, and flexibility. These 3 things are very crucial. If you are not quick, if you are not fast, you will fail. There was a myth that slow and steady wins the race, the tortoise defeated the rabbit. But in today's time, this is not true. Everything is moving at a fast pace. Who knew in November and December we will have an AI application who could answer our queries? We would shift from a search engine to an answer engine within a span of few months. Within a span of few months, who knew that a job market would crash and lakhs of people will be displaced from their jobs? So in this particular scenario, in this particular environment, you need to be fast. You need to be on your toes. What's the new technology that's coming in? I need to know about it. I need to upskill myself. What's the next competition which is being organized in the next school? I need to know about it. I need to register for it immediately so that I can participate, I can gain experience. Which is the next event which is coming up? Oh, there are only 100 seats. I need to be quick. I need to register for that event. In this particular environment, in the world we are living in, speed matters. How fast you implement your plan is very important in avoiding failures of strategy. The second thing is the efforts which you are applying. You can stand and you can push a ball and you say, I drained all my energy, but the ball didn't budge. You are putting your efforts in the wrong place. How much efforts are going into your strategy, how much mentally, how much physically, how much emotionally, how much financially you are invested into your plan is something which you need to record, which you need to analyze while building your strategy. Maximum results with minimum efforts is the best strategy which you need to use to avoid failures. The third thing is flexibility. Times are changing. What you decide now will be redundant in the next 1 week or 2 weeks. You need to be flexible, you need to be dynamic, you need to change, you need to be able to change your plans within a span of time. Your plan needs to be in a way so that it can scale. Whenever we build a product, the first thing which we think about is the scalability of a particular product. If I'm building this product, how flexible it is to the demands of the market, how we can expand it, how we can scale it. Let's say I have 100 customers now who have a certain demand. If I want to expand it to 1 lakh customers with certain demands, how flexible my product is so that I can modify that particular product. Does my strategy incorporate flexibility? The third thing is the failure of vision. Failure of vision is something which needs self-introspection. You need self-awareness to identify what your vision is, what your goals for your life are, what are your non-negotiables, what you can never negotiate on in your life. And if you want to achieve those things, you need to have a vision, you need to have a goal. Let's say, for me, my health is non-negotiable. So I need to have a vision to go to the gym every day, to work out, to at least spend few time every day so that I can maintain my health. I have this vision that my health is non-negotiable. That's why I'm working on this particular plan. The third point is criticism. If you navigate through criticism, having a vision will be very clear, because criticism forces you to change your vision. Criticism forces you to doubt the vision you have in your mind for your particular life. So how you navigate criticism is very important. So this concludes the presentation, and at the end, I would only advise you to fail forward, to build resilience, to fail every day. In everything you do, fail. I would say fail as much as you can so that you learn more, you grow more in every aspect that you do in life. Thank you so much.